up, everybody? My name is Dani, and I am your host of the Exes and Tea Podcast. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for coming back. I really appreciate it. When this originally started, it was a partner project. My co-host Corey and I would talk back and forth about our toxic relationship with our mutual ex-significant other who was very abusive. His name was Kyle. As we all know, people grow and change, and Corey has decided to pursue other opportunities that are going to be much better for her and her family. Out of respect for her and per her request, I went ahead and removed a couple of episodes just for privacy reasons, so I'm sure everybody will understand that, and we all wish her the best. So with that being said, my name is Dani. I am your host of the Exes and Tea Podcast, and I am just really excited to share with you guys some changes that have already been in the works that are coming to fruition. Got some awesome interviews coming up. I cannot tell you how excited I am. I have them going to be coming up. I will be uploading now on Tuesdays and Fridays, and we're still discussing the same content. We're still talking about domestic violence. We are still talking about leaving MLM cults. We are still talking about toxic relationships. And I'm really happy that so many people have continued to tune in and listen because this topic is near and dear to my heart. I am a survivor. If you have not heard my story, please go back and listen to my very first episode where I banter back and forth with Corey and we talk about my experience with Kyle. And that relationship really shaped my life in a way that I never thought it was going to go. And it changed who I am as a person. If you knew me before that happened, I am so sorry that you knew me because I hate who I was before then. And after having been in a DV relationship, it changed my whole perspective on the world. I have so much respect for people now. I like to treat every single person equally. Every single person deserves love to live the life they want to. I cannot express now how supportive I am of people as opposed to how I was before that. And through this journey, I have met so many amazing people that have shared their stories. I've had a family member come on the podcast. If you haven't heard her episode, her name is Tara Lynn. She has amazing points about raising children after childhood abuse. And then when I talked about Worldwide Dream Builders, I had no idea how many people had similar experiences to me. And following releasing my story about leaving Worldwide, my friend who was my upline, she came on, she told her story. Her name is Jess. Please go listen. Following Jess, we had Hope. Hope came on and told her story. And then Hope and Fisher, her husband, came on to continue sharing their stories. We will have other guests who are coming on again to share more about their experiences with Worldwide Dream Builders. And we have interviews with, if you haven't heard my episodes, listen to them. But in relation to those episodes, we have a fantastic interview with a young lady who was in an abusive relationship with the same ex that I had, Kyle, and her bravery for coming forward, for telling the police her story and for helping get him put behind bars where he belongs. I cannot tell you how proud of this girl I am. Her episode needs so much more praise, so please go listen to it. We've just got so much to share. I feel like there's so much out there that is almost really uncomfortable to talk about. Of course, I'm not here to make other people uncomfortable, but I also want to shed light on topics that aren't necessarily always discussed as much as they are. We're living in a society today where we have someone like Andrew Tate who is out here influencing young men. We have someone like Sebastian, who was on the H3 podcast, sitting here spreading toxic masculinity and speaking down about something that he clearly doesn't know about and speaking negatively about antidepressants. And as a huge fan of the H3 podcast, I can say that Ethan Klein talking about his experiences with antidepressants truly changed my life because I had also been a person who was feeding into the stigma of medications and those types of discussions that I feel like are really changing people's lives, changing people's perspective. And that's the kind of community I want to be a part of. I really want to be able to show people that it's okay to talk about the stories that your family has kept locked and keyed under a mat. That's me. It's always been really challenging for me to talk about having a narcissistic mom. What really inspired me to talk about it was Jeanette McCurdy's book, I'm Glad My Mom Died. Her experiences with her mom are very, very different from what I've experienced. Hearing her story, it made me feel like I was less alone. And it made me realize that I'm not the only one who had a mom like I did. Now, granted, I do have to say, my mom is a listener. She is a fan of my podcast. She knows that I'm going to be speaking about her. I'm not speaking about her in current terms. My mother is fantastic. Okay. She is becoming more and more self aware every day. She is getting the therapy that she needs, and she is really trying for her grandchildren, for her kids, for herself. I'm so proud of her. But if I do talk about it, it is in past tense. These are things that I went through as a child who has kind of shaped who I am as a person today. And who I am, gosh, is really a mold of many different abusive experiences. I mean, I definitely have had a lot of really good things happen, but I never realized how many people out there were like me who are the way that they are because they have some form of trauma. And those types of traumas are things that some people like to keep buried away. And that's okay. If that's you and you never want to talk about your trauma and you've worked through it in therapy, I support you. If you're someone who wants to talk about your trauma, I support you. I am hopeful that we have more people wanting to come on this podcast to share their life experiences with other people. When I was going through domestic violence, I wish I had a podcast to listen to or a YouTuber that I could listen to that was talking about the subject. When I had originally come up with this idea to come up with a podcast about this subject, I looked it up. And at the time, no one was really talking about it. People were not discussing domestic violence. You have the occasional video, which I'm so proud of those people for coming forward. And now with the rise of TikTok, I'm seeing so many more stories about people sharing their trauma because sometimes sharing trauma is healing. I know for me, going to a trauma therapy group, so healing because it's not just me. I'm in a whole community of people who have really been through all of these same things. And it's not just trauma, you guys. I would love to talk about happy things too. I mean, I am a country music lover. The amount of concerts that I have been to, it pales in comparison to some people, don't get me wrong. But I've definitely had some incredible experiences at concerts that bring light to my life. I'm a huge Eric Church fan. If you're not a country music lover, hey, I get it. Normally, that's the except for genre, right? But I have a wide variety of taste in music. You know, if there's something you think I should listen to, send me a message on Instagram. I'd be more than happy to take a listen and let you know what I think. I'm a movie buff. Friggin' love movies. I could go on and on about The Shawshank Redemption and Men on Fire, two of my favorite movies of all time, and The Godfather. Part 1 and Part 2. Part 3, not that great, but that is my personal opinion. Don't come at me. So it's really just about life. Because at the end of the day, that's what we have. My favorite quote from my dad is, "It's just life." And he says that because he doesn't want me to stress so heavily about things that at the end of the day are not going to kill me. So being able to come out and talk about these things has really shown me that I'm not held down by my traumas. I can be genuinely me and I don't have to hide it. And for so many years, I felt like I had to hide everything that I'd been through. I thought I was crazy. I always thought like when you hear as a child that you are the worst kid in the world, you're going to continue to think that. And that's what I did. I felt isolated. I made so many bad decisions. And I hope listening to this, people maybe understand a little bit more why I was the way that I was when I was younger. Because my upbringing, I had my dad for the first 10 years of my life. My parents divorced, and then I didn't have my dad. And for those 10 years, I really had to raise myself. And if during that time I was looking up to the right YouTubers, maybe I might have made some different decisions. I was busy though watching shady characters like Shane Dawson. Like, what? I was 14 years old watching him and his very racist, homophobic, horrible content that I should have never been exposed to. But that's what was on YouTube at the time. And my goal is to negate that. I want to be a different type of person that can spread a different type of awareness. That being said, I really hope that everybody feels welcome on this channel, to this podcast. Whoever you are, I really hope that you know that you are supported no matter who you are, what you identify as, what your sexuality is. It doesn't matter. It matters because you are a human and abuse knows no color, gender, sexuality. Are there demographics who experience domestic violence at higher rates? Yes, they are. And those are the communities who absolutely deserve to have a voice. I would love for people to come and speak on all of these different topics. So if that's you, I'm more than happy to have you come on and speak about it. But most importantly, I just really hope that people know that this is my biggest passion. This is something that I never really knew what I went through, but I didn't go through it for nothing. There's no way I went through all of that bullshit for nothing. And I'm here to say that anybody can overcome anything, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it's very hard. People can tell you, oh, you have anxiety, just take some Xanax. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. Depression, take antidepressants or go to the gym. I hate that mentality so much because people like Sebi, can I call you Sebi? I hate that mentality because I have gone to the gym. I have tried so many different things. And when you have a certain upbringing and clinical depression, like you're actually freaking diagnosed with it, you don't just go to the gym and it goes away. There's still something at the end of the day that is pulling you down. And some people, they need help with that. And sometimes that's antidepressants. And that's what it was for me. But it's not just the antidepressants. It's the need for therapy. It's the need to talk about it. It's all of these different self-care things that help me every single day overcome the traumas that I've had. At the end of the day, I hope to be here as a voice of reason and somebody who's just talking about real life. Not going to flash some fake fancy stuff at you. I am just me. My guests are just themselves. And we're just here to grace you with our presence, and we want to be heard. So I'm really glad that you were here for this really short episode. Really, it was just me coming back after kind of a really long, extended period of time where I had needed some time for myself. The podcast has been continuing to grow, which I am so grateful for. For everybody who has still continued to listen. You guys are amazing. And to anybody who is new, welcome. I really hope that you enjoy what you hear, and I hope that you'll share it with your friend. So you can follow me, the Exes and Tea Podcast, all of our guests. You can follow us at Exes and Tea _podcast on Instagram, TikTok, and we're working on the YouTube thing. So if that's where you see us, hi, we're on YouTube now, and I will be continuing to share what that's going to look like moving forward. So I'm really excited to meet you guys. If you're new, if you're a current listener, please come back. We're so excited to see you again. So that being said, I will see everybody soon. I upload on Tuesdays and Fridays. Have a great rest of your day.